My name is Ricardo Sobral. I'm a product manager here at Informatica. And today I'm going to show you how to profile an Oracle table. Let's switch into Informatica Cloud. In order to perform a profile, the first step you have to do is to create a profiling task. For that, we are going to the ticket called Data Profiling. On the Data Profiling area, you click in the New button, where I'm going to create the profiling task. A name for the profiling task, a description and a location where the profiling task is going to be stored. And now you choose a connection. In this case, I'm going to choose an Oracle connection. This connection has been created in the administration tab, and now you choose the object that I wanted to profile. Here, it's reading all the tables that are available in the database that has been configured in the connection. I'm going to choose a sample customer table. In here, I see all the columns that can be profiled. I choose all the columns. I also have the option to add a filter or a where clause where I can add conditions. Here are all the fields that are available in the database, and I enter an operation. In data preview, I get 10 rows from the source table just to help me to understand if this is the right table. I can also select the scope. I can run profiling all the rows, just the first X rows. And here is to control who can do a drill down, which I will explain later when I show the profiling results. In the next step, I just press run, which is going to save and run the profiling. In order to monitor the profiling, I can just click here where it shows it is running, or I can go to my jobs. I can see that the profiling is running. If you want to understand more details on how the profiling execution, you can look into the subtasks where you can see details on the execution. Profile finished running and profiled around 20,000 rows. To see the results, I can go back to the profiling and I can choose a profiler run. In this case, this profiling ran only once. Here I can see all the columns that has been profiled. You notice also there is an icon that shows that some data quality rules have been assigned to this profile. And here are the rules. We profile the output parts of those rules. At the bottom, I see a data preview on only 10 rows from my source. On the right side, I see a trend if I run more than once. And by selecting a column here, for instance, let's choose country, I can see the values or the value frequency of all the countries that were found in this table. As you can see, the names are not standardized, which is considered a data quality problem. I can see what data types were found on the database and what patterns I see for the data, and the most frequent values. If I want to see more details of a certain rule, for instance, I want to see the 28 rows that have USAE, I can just run what is called a drill down. Remember, on the profiling definition, I say if I want to allow drill down or not. For some users, you may just say they cannot see a drill down, but in most cases, you want to allow drill down because in order to see the data quality problem, usually you want to see the data. Here I can see the 28 rows, and highlighted is the country that has the value I select. I could select by patterns, and I could select by data type as well. If you were just looking for an easy way to create a profiling, you can stop this video here. Next, I'm going to talk about some other features that you can get out of profiling execution. Now, you'll notice on the right side, there is an icon that allows you to export the values to a dictionary. This will help, for instance, the user to create a cleanse rule. So you create a dictionary that has all those values, and then you can tell what's the correct value. For instance, you can say that all variations of USA should be just the letters U, S, and A, and you help to do a standardization. In rules, I do have 5 rules that were pre-assigned to this profiling when I chose the source. That's because my system is configured with auto recommendation of rules. You can still come here and add more rules to your profiling. For instance, I can click in this cleanse rule, click select, and then assign a column that exists in your source as an input part of the rule. And here you see the address status is going to read data from address status, and the output is going to be the address status that is coming from a rule. On the right top side, you also have the option to delete a profiling run. Let's say you run a profile multiple times. You can come here and delete the profile runs, old ones that you don't need anymore. And you can also do comparison between columns on the table. So I can choose some columns. Let's say I can choose remove extra spaces from address and choose the address column, and I can do a comparison. So it will compare the statistics of the column and the outputs of the row. You can also do comparison between runs. So what I do, I will go back to the definition of the profiling. I will add a filter. So in this example, I'm going to compare the profiling status between all states with the state of California. And I run this profiling again. The second run finish. So I come here and say compare profile runs. You can see now 2 profile runs. The number of rows is smaller because I'm looking only to the state. Once I compare, here I can see the difference between the number of nodes, the number of distincts, and all other statistics. And on the right panel, when you select a column, we give all the details of what happens between run 1 and 2. For instance, the number of values, new values for country decreased by 3.35% or 184 rows. You can also choose to export a profiling run, which will export all this data into an Excel spreadsheet. That concludes this demo. Thanks for watching.